This is ZSM Zaid Sports Mic.
Welcome to another episode of ZSM Zaid'sSportsMic. I'm your host, Zaid Nubani, and this is officially the second episode of ZSM. Today we will be talking about the AFC East Division. That division includes the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Bills, and finally the Jets. That is definitely an interesting division to break down, and I cannot wait to see how this one unfolds. So let's get right to it. Alright, so let's get this division started with the New England Patriots. So yeah, currently there is just not very much of this team. But they did draft their franchise quarterback in Drake May for the moment. But it does not look like he's going to be able to start this season, as Jacoby Brissett has earned himself a starting job this season. But I do want to say that there's a good chance that Drake May will end up starting this season, even if it's just the last few games. But let's switch over and talk about the head coach. Bill Belichick is out, and now Jared Mayo is in. And there's just absolutely no way that this guy, Jared Mayo, becomes that good head coach in this league. All respect, of course, but it's just not going to happen. But they do have a solid running back in Ramondre Stevenson. They also do have a couple decent receivers they could play around with. I don't see the quarterback position being a problem either, but it's just not a good team. And with a tough schedule on top of that, I had them going 0-17. Just not good. Not good at all. But yes, of course, they do have some winnable games, and the Jags, the Titans, and the Cardinals. All right, so let's move off that 0-17 just terrible team and talk about the downfall of the Buffalo Bills. They still do have one of the best quarterbacks in this game in Joshua Allen, but he does have less help than he did last year with the losses of Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis. But yes, they did sign Curtis Samuel and Mac Hollins, who to me are both very, very solid. So it's not really as bad as I initially thought. And they also drafted receiver Keon Coleman, who could be very nice right away for them, as they do have to find the Stephon Diggs replacement for Joshua Allen. And still do have James Cook and Dalton Kincaid. But as of right now, no, they do not have that real receiver one threat that the defense can focus on. But believe that or not, that could be better for Josh Allen's game. But now with Milano out for the year with a brutal injury and a brutal schedule on top of that, I have them currently at 10-7. Third for the AFC East. So now to the second place team in the AFC East. We have the Miami Dolphins. Pretty nicely built team they got over there. Hill, Waddle, Achane, Tua, Mostert, and Odell Beckham Jr. A very skilled and an extremely fast roster. They got speed on that team everywhere you look. Now this team can compete, but I think the teams ahead of them just have a little too much power for them. But this team, of course, they can threaten them. But they do need Tua to be better. He has been good, but he needs to advance his game to another level. He will need to get rid of those costly turnover-worthy plays he does, but I do have them going 11-6. That's good enough for the postseason, but they will not win this division. Now it's time for the team that has not won the division since 2002 and has not made the playoffs since 2010. Here we have the New York Jets. It has most definitely been a while, but this team is back, and they are hungry. This team has a healthy Aaron Rodgers, a healthy Breece Hall, added with Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, newly added Tyron Smith, Ulu, Moses, and Simpson. If this team can stay healthy, is there really a better, well-put-together team than this one right here? But again, that is a big if, because this team has always been cursed with major injuries. I don't know if it's a turf or what, but they have to do whatever they can to stay healthy. We are definitely due for one real chance at something here. Expect great years from Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. Who knows? They just might acquire Devontae Adams by the trade deadline. All we have to do is stay healthy with the added and returning talent, plus a light schedule. I have this team at 14-3, and to think it could even be better than that. And it also could be a tad bit worse for them as well. But their ceiling is a perfect season, and their floor is still a good 11 wins. But it should be a great year for them regardless. Hopefully they can stay healthy to prove they are a real threat to this league. So let's do a quick recap. I have the Jets winning the division for the first time since 2002 at 14-3. Followed by the 11-6 Dolphins and the 10-7 Buffalo Bills. And finally finished off with the absolutely worst team in the league, the 0-17 New England Patriots. That would be an all-time record right there, as nobody has ever finished 0-17. So that does finish the AFC East schedule prediction rankings. Now let's move on to the QB, the running back, and the wide receiver rankings inside this division. At QB, we have Tua, Rodgers, Drake May, and Josh Allen. I'd have to say Josh Allen is right next to Patrick Mahomes at 1 and 2, while Rodgers is not that far behind. But let's switch over to the running backs now. For the running backs, we have Ramondre Stevenson, Breece Hall, Devon Achane, and James Cook. All right, so I'm running with Hall, Stevenson, Achane, and then Cook. I know people will disagree with Ramon over Achane, but to me, Stevenson is very good with not too many flaws to his game. While I do think what Achane did to start the year last year was phenomenal, I think it was very flawed in the sense that it was versus absolute worst teams he could have played to start the year last year. But I also do think he's very talented, he's very fast, and I'd love to see how his year turns out. All right, let's go switch to receiver right now. We got Garrett Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Mike Williams. We are forgetting about the Bills and the Patriots here. They don't really have too much to look at. While the other two, the Jets, the Dolphins, they have the real talent. They have the player. In order, we are going with Tyreek Hill, followed by Garrett Wilson, who's going to be really good this year with Rodgers back at the helm. And then we're taking Mike Williams over Jalen Waddle to end it. The reason I take Mike Williams over Jalen Waddle is because of Mike Williams. He's got the speed, the IQ, the jump ball ability, and the route running. Jalen Waddle's very good, but he doesn't have all that. Now, we're not knocking Jalen Waddle, as we do believe he will have a good year himself. All right, so now it's time for some fantasy football talks. So tonight we're doing the do's and the don'ts of drafting. All right, number 1 on the do draft, Tyreek Hill. Currently coming into the season, Tyreek Hill is my wide receiver 2. He does have back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons, and that is not going to stop anytime soon. So do not overthink that pick. Next up on this dudes list, we got Garrett Wilson. He is currently my wide receiver 3 coming into the season with high expectations. Next up in this list, Breece Hall, running back 1 this year. With the added pieces on the offensive line, plus Aaron Rodgers returning, expect great numbers this year from Breece Hall. To finish this list off, Josh Allen, quarterback 1 this year. Reach for him if you can, because he's going to put up spectacular numbers. All right, let's see who we don't draft this year. So I'm not drafting Mostert, Mike Williams, Aaron Rodgers, or Ramondre Stevenson this year. Now, those are all big question marks coming into the season, and it's just best to stay away and have someone else draft them. So yes, unfortunately, that does wrap the AFC East Division up. Let me know what you guys think, and also comment what division you want to see next. Also, keep an eye out, as a lot more content will be coming in very soon. We might even be bringing in a special guest to come in and talk about fantasy, the divisions. So yeah, stay tuned for that one to come. Appreciate you all. Have a good night. Peace.